කරනවා අපේ මාධ්‍ය සභාව ගැන කතා බහ කරන්න පත් කරගෙන දැන් නැවතත් උන් සූදානම් හැකියාව උදා කරගත්ත ඒ සිතුවිල්ලේ.
We started about 10 years ago with the promise I made to some friends of mine that should the war end, that I would walk from the south of the country to the north of the country to symbolize Sri Lanka being one country. And in 2009, when the war ended, I decided that I had to fulfill my promise. When I was planning my walk, one of my friends came up to me and said, instead of just walking for no reason at all, why don't you find a cause? So that seemed like a good idea at that time. I didn't have a cause, and I was walking, shopping around, looking for people to partner me on this. When Nathan walked up to me and suggested that we do this for a cancer hospital. And given that cancer knows no boundaries, I thought it was a perfect combination of what we were trying to do, and that was the humble beginnings of this walk.
We raised around almost 700 million rupees, and the government matched it. So what you see today is the hard work of all Sri Lankans from Martharat to Jaffna. And most importantly, the participation of most people in those cities that we walked. And some of the joyful moments for us, one was the walk and the experiences that we had. And Sarinda will talk about a few of the experiences, so will Lanka. But the experiences we had were something that we cherished. And when we finished the walk, for us putting up the building, it took us 2 years to put up the building since when we finished the walk. And for us, the moment only came not when we opened the hospital even, but when the first patients were being treated. When we saw the first patient getting the chemotherapy and the fact that we had been able to support in some form in making it easier for them, that was a moment that it really hit us that the whole of Sri Lanka has got together and did something that was credible. Because before this, most people in the north of the country were used to take, during the wartime, they used to take boats, sell their belongings and come down to Colombo. Most people would sell their items and they will take a boat and they come to Colombo and get treatment in Maragama Hospital. And it's tough, whether you're from the south or the north, to move your family and come out there for 3 to 6 months and get chemotherapy treatment. It was difficult for most people from a social point of view as well. So, what we saw today when we were walking around is the fact that majority of the patients can go home is a big achievement. On a daily basis, the doctor was saying there's about 100 to 150 people that come for chemotherapy treatment. They're treated and they're sent home. Now, if you can imagine, most of these patients, when they come to Maragama, they'll have to stay somewhere else if that happens to them. So, having looked at that, for us, that's the biggest thing that we've been able to achieve. And the government has also kept their promise. They promised that they will build the linear accelerator and brachytherapy machine, and you see the building on our left of the hall, where they're about to fix the linear accelerator machine. And again, the doctor has shared that once the linear accelerator machine is up and running, that the number of patients that can be treated will double the numbers that come in on a daily basis. So this was never about anything to do with Sarinda or me. It was about how we can, as Sri Lankans, get together and change the image and also support the cause of cancer. So having looked at what we've been able to achieve here today in this hospital, we decided that when we open that we will try and do this for the south as well. And the hospital in the south, I'll talk about it in a little while, but I want to give an opportunity to Mahela and Kumar to talk about a little bit about their experience when they walked through for building of this hospital and what they've seen here now.
I haven't been to this hospital for a couple of years, obviously, but seen a huge difference since the opening. So happy that I was a little part of it. I managed to walk about 5-6 stages. I was there for the last stage. Every stage that I walked was a great experience, and realized how generous the Sri Lankan public was. Especially, it was a sensitive time, soon after the war had finished in 2009, and the walk was in 2011. But when we said we're walking from south to north to build a hospital in Jaffna, We had so much contribution along the way. People just gave whatever they had. Little kids, if you see in the photograph, they came in and gave their tilts, which they saved money to maybe buy a cricket bat or a pair of shoes. They just gave that tilt away to us. So it shows how generous the Sri Lankan public is. And when we came to the north, it was the same reception we had. We had a brilliant welcome. People all gathered around because it's a common cause. I've been involved in cancer for nearly 16 years, trying to help people, trying to help facilities, improve facilities in Sri Lanka. And this is what it's all about. It's about helping people in rural areas so that they could get treatment and for them to be mentally happy as well. I think cancer is something that you need to be able to fight, not just with the medication, but with happiness, because if you're a happy person and if you have that confidence that you could win this battle, that's more or less gives you a great opportunity. And at the same time, if you see the hospital, we have some dedicated doctors, nurses, who put in a tremendous effort towards these patients. And around the country, we have that same commitment, but we just need to give them the facilities so that they could actually make a difference in these people's lives. So I think in a nutshell, I think we're very happy, but if we can contribute more towards this, I think it's what we're trying to achieve, and to improve facilities around Sri Lanka. Thank you.
It's been a great journey for Trail. I was part of the first walk. Like Mahila said, I was a very, very small part of that first walk, but over 30,000 Sri Lankans coming together, uniting for a cause. Uniting for a cause was an amazing thing to see and be a part of. And when you see the end result here at Teripalai, and you walk through the facilities, you understand how important it is to develop regional infrastructure for cancer care, treatment technology, treatment facilities, treatment infrastructure, so that patients in their own areas can have easier and better access to quality care. And with cancer treatment, you have the medicine, but we have dedicated doctors, great facilities in some regions, but not everyone can make use of them. So if you have patients receiving quality care in their own areas of residence or within easy distance of travel, the amount of stress that is relieved, the burden that is taken away from them mentally goes a long way in helping the medicine work even better. So this has been an amazing journey that will now continue to ensure that facilities are improved at another center in Karapetya, so that the quality of care and the trail and the promise of the Colours of Courage Trust is being continued all around Sri Lanka, so that the concept that was started here in Teripalai will take root even more firmly around the island. So it's another opportunity for everyone to unite, to come together, to show each other that anything in Sri Lanka is possible as long as we are there to put in a collective effort. So hopefully we'll see you at the walk tomorrow, and it'll be another great start to another great project which will see fruition in a few years.
The opening ceremony starts at 7 o'clock, and hopefully we'll get started on the walk at 8:30. Tomorrow we walk 16 kilometers. On the average, you walk about 24 kilometers a day. And we will do a continuous journey all the way down to Makara. That's 28 days of walking. And we would like to invite you all to please participate as much as possible. Please spread the word, get people to join us along the way. There is no formality. While we like people to register on our website, which is www.trailsl.com. While we like people to register, it's not imperative that they do. They can please walk up to us and join us and walk along the way and contribute along the way as well. Every cent counts. And while, one of the things that we were talking about, and Mahela touched on this as well, the spontaneous acts of generosity that we saw all the way from the deep south, all the way up to Jaffna, in terms of the money that we collected to build this hospital, was what, to me, was the most special part of that walk. This wasn't about getting 5 or 6 corporate donors to come and give the big check. This was about every Sri Lankan that we passed along the road contributing. There was one gentleman, for example, who had a 50 rupee note and he was trying to catch the bus. And he gave us the 50 rupee note and said, can I have 20 rupees back, because he didn't have bus fare. So, and then there was another lady who was selling bananas out of a cart. And this was in the deep south, this was probably in Valley, if I'm not mistaken. Where she asked, where are you going? And we said, we're walking to Jaffna. And she laughed and said, are you serious? And then he said, yes, we are. And then she started distributing all the bananas that she had on her cart, which was probably a week's wage for her, to all the walkers. So there was lots of, just spontaneous acts like this. There was no difference about north, south, region, color, caste. There was absolutely nothing. This was one Sri Lanka, one cause. So we hope to have the same kind of sentiment this time as well, and we're looking forward to doing that. And as I said, the corporates,
and we want to thank all the corporates who are supporting us. Also, there are many companies have got together and they're organizing different events. So we had one company which organized a particular Bharatanatyam dance. They raised over 5.8 million rupees just on that one dance. We also on last week had Bharti and Santosh very kindly, along with their staff, put together a concert for one of the corporates. And even the person who puts the stage, the guy who nails the stage, gave his day's wages to the cause. Everything that is done was based on the fact that everybody committed their time to doing that event, and the ticket proceeds went towards the trail. And again, some of the old DJs got together and they had a DJ's night last week as well. And again, all of their time, all the equipment companies, the partners, everybody just gave it free of charge. Knowing the cause, everybody is very generous in their time as well as the equipment and the resources. They've been supporting us in that manner. So one thing I want to just clarify is that everything that you see and everything that is raised through the website or people's donation goes 100% towards the hospital. And we are a trust that's governed by board of trustees, which Mahela, Sarinda and myself are part of. We also have other people like Mr. Diane Gomez. We have Mr. Tyagaraja from NDB. And we also have Hans Vijayasuri from Dialogue as a trustee. We have Amila Fernando from Julius and Creasy as our lawyer. And the chairman of the board is Mr. Ranjan Sivaratnam, who is the former KPMG senior director. And we also have Anushman Rajaratnam from Lanka on our board. So we are very proud in terms of what we've been able to achieve at Maragama Hospital, and also what we have been able to achieve in Telipale. And this is a promise that we made the then health minister, that one day we will come back and we will build a hospital in the south. Because the hospital in the south currently caters for all the patients from Arugambe all the way down to Ratnapura, all the way down to Kalatura. They get treated at this one hospital. And it's very sad when someone doesn't have a bed for themselves and they have to share it. Or it's very sad that when someone has to sit on a chair, or plastic chair, and have chemotherapy. There was a story that somebody shared with us last week, and this patient had gone to get chemotherapy, and there was no bed at the Maragama hospital. And this person was waiting, and no chairs were available. Then suddenly he got a chair. He got a chair without an armrest. And he was so thankful that he got a chair without an armrest because he had to spend the night in the hospital. A little while later, he got a chair with some armrests, and he thought he was very lucky to have a chair with an armrest. Then a little while later, he got a chair that was cushioned and not plastic, And he thought, okay, I can settle in for the whole night with this. And then he saw that there was another bed, and he asked the nurse, look, the patient has not come back because the patient has gone for an operation. Can I just sleep on that bed for a little while? And he managed to sleep 4 hours on that bed. And this is the guy who was going for chemotherapy treatment the next day morning, and he's going for an operation. Now, he was very glad that for 4 hours he was able to get sleep before he went into for the operation. This is what we are trying to achieve, because everybody deserves a bed. If they go into a general hospital and has chemotherapy, everybody deserves that bed. And that's the reason that we've been able to do this hospital with 120 beds and chemotherapy and ID facility, and create an environment that's conducive to this sickness. Because when you have this sickness and see some of the patients here, it reminds me of what my sister went through. And that's the reason that we are all getting together, and whole of Sri Lanka got together and did this hospital. And that's the reason that we want to get together and build one in the south as well. I've been asked to say a few words in Tamil. I will attempt to speak in a little bit of Tamil. உங்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் ரொம்ப நன்றி இன்றைக்கு வந்ததுக்கு. முதல் வாக் டான்ட்ராலேருந்து கோயம்பேட்டுக்கு வரக்கு சரியான கஷ்டமான ஜேர்னி. ஏன்னா அந்த நேரம் கொஞ்சம் வார் முடிஞ்சு கொஞ்ச நாள் தான். ஆனால் அதால் கன பேர் யோசித்தாங்க இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் கட்ட முடியாது. எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப கன பேர் வந்து சொன்னாங்க இந்த வாக் சரிப்பட வராது, நீங்கள் யோசிக்காதீங்க, இது கட்டவே முடியாது. ஆனால் சரிந்தாக்கும் எனக்கும் இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் இந்த யாழ்ப்பாணத்தில் கட்டணும்னு ஒரு ஆசை. அந்த ஆசையோடு நாங்கள் எங்களுக்கு சப்போர்ட் குமா மகள அது மாதிரி கணக்கு அதை பேர் எம்ஏ சோலிங் எங்களோட சேர்மன் மிஸ்டர் மாயசாமலியன் எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப சப்போர்ட் பண்ணி சொன்னாங்க இதை செய்யுங்க, நாங்கள் உங்களுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணோம். அது நாங்கள் ஒரு சின்ன விதியில் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணோம். எங்களுக்கு உண்மையாக 30,000 பேர் நடப்பாங்கன்னு ஒரு யோசனை இருக்கல. ஆனால் 30,000 பேர் எங்களோட நடந்து 250,000 பேர் எங்களுக்கு கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் தந்து நாங்கள் ஒரு 500 மில்லியன் ரூபி கலெக்ட் பண்ணி இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டலை கட்டணும். சின்ன பிள்ளையர் 4 வயசு பிள்ளையர் டில்ஸ் கொண்டு அவங்களோட ஒரு சப்பாத்துக்கு இல்லாட்டி ஒரு டாய்க்கு எடுத்து வச்சிருந்த காசை கொண்டு நமக்கு கொடுத்து சொன்னாங்க இதை காட்டுங்க, இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டலை காட்டுங்க. இன்னொரு இடத்துல ஒரு சின்ன பிள்ளை நானும் சரிந்த நடக்க எங்களுக்கு பக்கத்தில் வந்து நீங்கள் என்னத்துக்கு நடக்கிறீங்கன்னு கேட்டாங்க. அந்த நேரம் நாங்கள் சொன்னோம் ஒரு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் ஒன்று காட்ட போகிறோம் யாழ்ப்பாணத்தில் கேன்சருக்கு. அந்த பிள்ளைக்கு தலைமை இருக்கல. உடனே வீட்டுக்குள்ளே போய் அந்த டில்லை கொண்டு கொடுத்தாங்க. அந்த டில்லை கொடுக்க சொன்னாங்க, நான் இப்போ தான் மாரகம் ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு போய் கீமோதெரப்பி எடுத்து வந்தேன், நீங்கள் இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் போய் காட்டுங்க. இது மாதிரி ரொம்ப கதைகள் இருக்கு. அதால் எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ரென்த் வந்துச்சு. ஒவ்வொரு நாளும் இப்படி நாங்கள் நடக்க ஒரு நாள் ஒரு வாழைப்பழம் விற்கிற லேடி வந்து என்னத்துக்கு நடக்குதுன்னு கேட்டேன். நான் சொன்னேன் இந்த ஒரு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் காட்டுறதுக்கு. உடனே அந்த வாழைப்பழத்தை எடுத்து கொடுத்தாங்க. அது மாதிரி கன பேர் வந்து நமக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணாங்க. இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் கட்டி 2014 ஜனவரி 19 திறந்தோம். அந்த நேரத்துலேருந்து அந்த டாக்டர்ஸ் நர்சஸ் அந்த ரொம்ப சப்போர்ட் தந்தாங்க இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் நடத்துறதுக்கு. அவங்க இல்லாமல் இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் நடக்கவே முடியாது. அவங்க ஒவ்வொரு நாள் அந்த டெடிக்கேஷன், அவங்களோட டைம், அவங்க ஒரு 24 மணித்தேரம் வேலை செய்ய வேண்டி இருக்கு. ஆனால் முதல் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிக்க ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் அத்தனை பேர் இருக்கல, நர்சஸும் இருக்கல. கொஞ்சம் கணக்காக கஷ்டப்பட்டு தான் அவங்க டாக்டர்ஸ் பேசி, நாங்களும் பேசி, ஹெல்த் மினிஸ்ட்ரி பேசி தான் அந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் நடத்தோம். அது மாதிரி இந்த முறை எங்களுக்கு இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் இருந்து சப்போர்ட் அந்த சீஃப் மினிஸ்டரில் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுறாரு. மற்றது இந்த ரீஜனல் டாக்டர்ஸ் ரொம்ப சப்போர்ட். இங்கேருந்து நாங்கள் மாத்திரைக்கு நடந்து ஒரு 750 மில்லியன் ருபீஸ் ரேஸ் பண்ணணும். இப்போ ஒரு 220 மில்லியன் ருபீ ரேஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். அதோட இன்னொரு 500 மில்லியன் ருபீஸ் கிட்ட ரேஸ் பண்ணணும் நாங்கள். அதால் உங்களோட சப்போர்ட்டும் தேவை. ஏன்னா கணப்பேர் வந்து நடந்தால் எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். அது மாத்திரமில்லை, ஒவ்வொரு பேரும் வந்து ஒரு ரூபா, ஒரு 10 ரூபா, ஒரு 100 ரூபா கொடுத்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல. ஏன்னா இது எல்லார்ட்ட ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் வந்து எல்லோரும் சேர்ந்து தான் இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் கட்ட முடியும். நமக்கு தனியாக கட்ட முடியாது, நம்மளோட கார்பரேட் ஸ்பான்சர்ஸ் தனியாக கட்ட முடியாது, எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து தான் கட்ட முடியும். அதால் உங்களுக்கு புலம் ஏழுமான இதுக்கு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் கார்டை பற்றி கொஞ்சம் எழுதி www.trailsl.com வேணும் அந்த டயலாக் மூலமாக SMS கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணலாம். மற்றது இந்த நெக்ஸஸ் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் இருக்குது, அதையும் கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணலாம். ஆனால் வித்தியாசமான விதியத்தில் கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணலாம். அதால் உங்களோட சப்போர்ட் எங்களுக்கு நான் கொஞ்சம் தாங்க.
Good evening, everybody. I am so delighted to welcome the team which is contributed to something in an unbelievable way to the people of northern region. I don't think it is just a Hansa hospital. It's such a revolution. It's such a revolution made in health services of northern region. Why I am saying like that is the teaching hospital Jaffna is the only tertiary care hospital which have been providing the tertiary care services for the people of northern region. But unfortunately that is not adequate for the people of this region. There is none other hospitals in the capacity to provide even the inward facilities for even basic services, basic healthcare services before the construction of this hospital. Most of you understand this is only as the Hansa hospital, but with that contribution, with the construction of this Hansa unit in these premises, we converted it as a wonderful opportunity provided for us to build another tertiary care hospital for the people of northern region. In a gradual way, little by little, in these 2 years, we have developed so many units in support to the Hansa unit in this hospital, which paved the way for another such big hospital like Teaching Hospital Jaffna. And you understand that this is a region which mainly depend on the water from the well for agriculture, and the heavy utilization of agrochemicals like the north central part of the region. So, and again the cultural traditions of the people of the region, the high consumptions of betel and some other things, and sometimes due to the war effects, there are high chances for the disease of Hansa. There are a high number of people are incorporated with this Hansa diseases. So it's such a wonderful opportunity for this region to provide such a sophisticated Hansa care for these people. Before the construction of this hospital, the teaching hospital Jaffna, which have only the ward facilities, small ward facilities, with only, I can say it is about 30 beds or 40 beds, which is the only facility available at that time for this for entire northeastern region to provide Hansa services. And there are no any sophisticated tertiary care services like that, like the linear accelerator therapy or any other modern Hansa therapies. But the construction of this hospital, this is, you can understand when wandering around this environment, this is not like an ordinary hospital. is something resembling like your home. So the environment itself, it's which helps to heal the wounds of the patients. They are suffering so much from this horrible disease of cancer. And again, they provided us 120 beds. It's something you can feel. It's a hospital like which is available in Western world. The 120 sophisticated beds with such a comfortable seats or chairs for chemotherapy. With their contribution, the government of Sri Lanka and Health Ministry also helped us to develop the hospital in further by providing the additional treatment facilities like the linear accelerator, brachytherapy, the iodine therapy, the CT simulator. But unfortunately, at the moment, some unavoidable reasons, the progress of those works are stopped for a while. But I hope in future, within 1 or 2 years, this hospital would like the Maharagama National Cancer Institute, and I am quite confident that we can provide all sort of cancer treatment facilities to the people of this region without any trouble. We are catering patients not only from Jaffna or Northern Province. At the moment, the people from Ampara, Batikalo, Trinco, Puttalam, and even Anuradhapura district also, we are receiving patients. Those are the reigning areas for us at the moment. But I am quite happy to say that our consultants from southern region who work here, they are sending patients from even Colombo itself also. We are receiving good number of patients from Colombo itself. The reason is the Maharagama Cancer Institute is so crowded, so congested with cancer patients, so it will take quite a time to get the treatment, to get their appointments for therapy. So we receive quite a number of people from Colombo as well. And it's this train, which is starting tomorrow from Point Petro to south. This gives us a nice opportunity to pay our gratitude for what the southern people have done for us, irrespective of nationalities, irrespective of regions. They contributed a lot. I can say, in my experience, that more than northern people, the people from south, they contributed in an immense way for this such a wonderful work. So it's a payback time for us. It's such a nice opportunity for us. So we also planned to conduct another small cancer walk on next Friday. Friday 7 a.m. onwards, we are starting a cancer walk from this hospital to Jaffna town through KK's Road. Our hospital community and our patient welfare society jointly working together to arrange this cancer walk, along with so many community organizations and departments, non-governmental organizations, who are so keen to contribute to build or expand a cancer institute in Goa. And I am so delighted to see the response we received from the people of this region for our intention to build a cancer hospital in Goa. So I am once again expecting or asking your contribution, the contribution from media people. You are the people, you have the responsibility to create the awareness among all the people regarding this vital walk, vital program arranged to build a hospital in South.
Actually, I'm so delighted to work in an institute like this because all the facilities, either radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and other modalities are available for the patients. And our patients are not waiting for the treatment. Once they come to the hospital, in the next week, they will start the treatment because of the availability of the facilities and especially chemotherapeutic drugs. You know that 1,000 new cancer patients are being treated per year, and we are planning to start high-tech radiotherapy with the modern sophisticated machine to increase the cure rates of the cancer patients. And also I would like to highlight that we are running about 120 bedded unit for inward patients, and also we are running a chemotherapy day center for the patients who are coming in OPD basis. So all this success is the result of your dedication. So finally, I would like to pay my sincere gratitude to all of you and all the people who are joining this massive work to raise.
පිළිකාරෝහල මම හිතන්නේ අපිට ගොඩාක් සතුටුයි අපිට යම් කිසි විදියකින් පිළිකාරෝගීන්ට පහසුකම් සලසලා වගේම මේ වෛද්‍ය මහතුරුන්ට පහසුකම් සලසලා මේ ප්‍රදේශයේ වුන්ගෙන් අපිට දැනගන්න ලැබුණා මේ ප්‍රදේශයේ විතරක් නෙමෙයි කොළඹෙනුත් රෝගීන් මේ පිළිකාරෝහල ප්‍රතිකාර ලබනවා කියන්නේ. ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ මේක තමයි අපිට අවශ්‍ය කරපු දේ. අපි හැමෝම හිතන්න ඕනේ අපි ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයෝ කියලා අපිට ඉපදෙද්දී අවස්ථාවක් නැහැ මොන පොළට අපි ඉපදෙන්නේ කියලා. අපි සිංහල වෙන්න පුළුවන්, අපි තමිල වෙන්න පුළුවන්, අපි මුස්ලිම් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, අපි බර්ග වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් අපිට අවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා මනුෂ්‍යත්වය තෝරා ගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට අවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා තවත් යමෙකුට උදව් කරන්න. මම හිතන්නේ මේ රෝහලෙන් ඒක තමයි අපි දෙන්න හදන පණිවිඩය. ඒ වගේම තමයි අපිට දැන් අවස්ථාවක් උදා වෙලා තියෙනවා උතුරු ඉඳලා දකුණට ඇවිදලා කරාපිටිය ශික්ෂණ රෝහල අසල තවත් පිළිකාරෝහලක් ඉදි කරන්න. ඒකට අපිට අවශ්‍ය කරනවා රුපියල් මිලියන 750ක වගේ මුදලක් අපි දැනටමත් සෑහෙන ප්‍රමාණයක් එකතු කරලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් අපිට ලොකු අභියෝගයක් තියෙනවා මේ තරණයක් ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න. ඉතින් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා සියලුම ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙයි කියලා මේ ජයග්‍රහණය සඳහා. මොකද මේකෙන් අපි කරන්න හදන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ පිළිකාරෝගීන් තවත් අස්සසිලා ඒකෙන් අපිට පුළුවන් නම් යම් කිසි වෙනසක් කරන්න. මම හිතන්නේ අපි හැමෝටම ඒකෙන් ලොකු පිනක් දානවා.
11 when we did the first walk, not too many people really understood what we were trying to do. I think the concept was quite unique. It was something new. Although people knew the intention, they weren't really, let's just say that they didn't really believe that we would do it because it seemed like such a long journey and such a tall order. This year, it has been a lot easier to garner support from the corporates as well as general public, simply because we have something to show for it. This hospital is testament to what we have done, and I think that's the biggest difference that we see.
Completely two different feelings. One, we are entertaining the public, giving them the benefit of escapism, where they go to a place where they sit and watch something that makes them very happy and that they're enthusiastic about. This directly affects the lives of Sri Lankans who are suffering with cancer, who have a disease that is becoming more and more curable every day, as long as they have access in time to quality medicine, quality facilities that can provide them with the necessary care. So what we are doing by joining this walk, to me, is far more important than what we do running between the wickets. So I think that's where I think we've got to really understand that, when we do commit to something, that and you see the fruits of the walk in 2011. You're sitting there, it's tangible, it's there, it's helping people at this moment while we're having this press conference. So imagine the same facilities for another part of Sri Lanka, helping thousands of more people have a better quality of life and hopefully cures for cancer.